I have a lot of young people who ask me, how do I get to know someone? What are the boundaries? Am I allowed to talk in private? When can I not? Do the parents have to know? Am I allowed to talk on the internet? What are the limits if I can? What are the things that I should be talking about? If I go to meet her, she meets me, in what are the circumstances? What should we talk about? What are the questions I should ask? What are the topics that we should talk about before I get married? Some people ask me, is marriage necessary? Do I have to get married? Is it haram not to get married? Questions like, how do I get engaged? How do I ask for a potential spouse? Some sisters say, can I propose to the brother? So let's answer these questions and look at them, inshallah, and share this piece of knowledge. Here are some important matters. If you've decided to get married and you know who you want to go and ask for right from the beginning, these are important matters that you've got to keep in mind that you want to find out about each other. 13 questions or discussions to plan to talk in the course of getting to know that person. One of the things to talk about is how you view marriage life. You can ask her, or she asks you, you ask him, how do you view marriage life? What's marriage life to you? How do you envision marriage? What's marriage to you? How do you see a husband to be and a wife? How do you think their relationship should be? What qualities would you like to see in a spouse? Number 3, you need to talk about each other's family dynamics. You have to bring family and culture into it. We don't have this Hollywood movie where it's just Romeo and Juliet. Oh, they ended up killing each other. We're going to talk about a Hollywood movie where in the end they live happily ever after and they walk together in the sunset as if there's no one in the entire world but them two. Subhanallah. Them two and the sunset. No. When you get married, just two people get married, families are coming together. Cultures are coming together. Sometimes even whole tribes are coming together, depending on where you're coming from. But anyway, you've got to talk about these things. Culture. One brother said, I have this, a lot of brothers, they talk about this, subhanAllah, and that's another question, and that is about living arrangements. Living arrangements and family dynamics are very close. Some cultures are very strict, and they put pressure on the son that he and his wife, the daughter-in-law, must live with their parents. And this is a very hot topic for a lot of people. And I can tell you outright, brothers and sisters, that Islam does not recommend for couples to live, for the husband to pressure his wife in living with his parents or with anybody else. A wife has a right to her own dwelling, to her own little dwelling. Even if it's in the back, let's say there's a granny flat, the point is it's her own. She has her own privacy, her own home. That's the therapy for a wife. And to make her home nice, and she's the queen of the house. She does whatever she wants. Brothers and sisters, it's actually oppression and zulm. Zulm in Islam, to pressure or force the wife to live with your parents. Some people might say, but what if we're in financial difficulty? I say to you, that's why you have the period of engagement. You need to talk about these. These are crucial points to talk about. You must talk and agree on them, and right from the beginning. Very important, brothers and sisters. I've seen many fights happen between mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Sometimes she wants to put a hijab on. Maybe if she doesn't wear the hijab, she can't feel comfortable. The brothers come in, the brother-in-laws come in, sometimes the sister-in-laws. Everybody visits. It's the parents' house. She has no privacy. Sometimes they clash. Mum wants, to organize the house this way. She can't do anything. They clash. Brothers and sisters, this is important to know. Inshallah, have good conversations with your parents. Wallah, I see this all the time happening. Tears, cries, tension, separation and divorce as a result of not talking about living arrangements and dynamics of family and all that. My brothers and sisters, some people, they say to me, but if we talk about that, it's too tense. We start fighting. I said, it's better fighting now than when you get into your marriage and fight. That's the whole point of engagement. That's the whole point of meeting and talking. Right. Let's move on to another one. How you each spend your free time. So we move on. Finances. You must open a way to talk about finances. Another thing to open up is your social life. Talk about your social lives. Talk about your social lives. Introvert, extrovert. These are very important. Knowing a person's friends is very important, because the friends can tell you a lot about yourself. And usually you've got to investigate. A good thing is to look on social media, ask other people about them. There's nothing wrong with that. Number 8, talk about children, having children, and raising them, educating them, and very importantly, naming them. I'll repeat it. Naming them. What did I say? Naming them. This is a big thing. I've seen couples fall apart over the naming of a child. And the last 3 things, inshallah, ask about future ambitions and goals, especially career. How important is your career to you? My career is like this. Very importantly also to ask about, number 10, health issues. Health issues, disabilities. If you're embarrassed to talk about them, get someone else to explain that to them. It's very important, brothers and sisters. You don't want to get married and later on you find out severe health issues or deformities or disabilities. That's haram in Islam to hide these things. And number 11, the past. I know. You probably looked it up. A lot of sheikhs and imams said, it's none of anyone's business to know about your past. Allah forgives all sins. Yes, that is true. That is true. People should not expose their past sins. That is true. That is a general blanket rule. But I'm going to just let you think about something. You know yourself. Some sins of the past are not that easy to just dismiss. Stay with me. Stay with me. You with me? Okay. Some sins of the past between telling a potential spouse cannot be easily dismissed. You have to think, is that sin of my past going to show up in my marriage again? Does it have the potential? I'll give you an example. If a person used to be on drugs before and they were addicted and it was hard, how long ago was it? If drugs can come back into the marriage, not in the beginning, but later on it can. Because people take drugs often either for recreation or when they get addicted, it becomes mental issues, depression and all of that stuff. In a marriage, there's going to be ups and downs. A person can resort back to the drugs. Is it important to talk about it? In my opinion, wallahi, you don't have to take it. It's important to talk about it. And lastly, how would you want a wedding? You might be thinking, oh, is that important? It's very important. In fact, saying how you want a wedding and the details of it will tell you so much about the mindset of the person, about their family, about your family, to see if things can get along.